There's not many women I can't make like me. Why don't you like me? Bad Ronald. Bad Ronald was a made-for-TV movie which first aired on American television in October 1974. It was based on the book of the same title by Jack Vance, and it starred Scott Jacoby as Ronald Wilby, who's a teenager who's a bit of an got a bit of an artistic mind, but he is bullied and picked on by others and made fun of by others because he's a little bit different. He accidentally knocks over his neighbour, a young girl, and he gets into an argument with her and she starts belittling him, and he grabs her and shoves her over and she falls and she dies. So he accidentally kills the young girl. Then panicking, he ends up getting a shovel and burying her in the ground in behind his neighbour's house, and he goes along to his mother to tell her of his predicament, and he wants to turn himself into the police, but his mother, Mrs. Wilby, who's played by Kim Hunter, actress, you might remember her from the original Planet of the Apes films, she doesn't want him to go to the police because she just doesn't want him to get into trouble, so she encourages him to hide out, and she ends up making a home for him it's like a basement or cellar of this old house, and then she ends up just looking after him and feeding him every single day, but he's hiding away, even though their neighbour, their elderly neighbour, suspects something. She's always watching them. She's suspicious, and the police come round, they're asking questions, and they obviously suspect something as well. Months go by and he's still hiding away, and his mother actually passes away, and then a new family moves in. I don't want to give away too much about what happens in the film, but this new family that moves into Ronald's old home where he used to live with his mother, they're a well-to-do family of three girls, and he basically stalks and haunts them, and they think they're being haunted by a ghost. They think the house is haunted. Well, it is haunted, but it's not haunted by a ghost. It's haunted by Ronald Wilby himself in the flesh. It's pretty much a haunted house ghost story. It's a ghost story, but it's about a ghost of someone who actually isn't dead. It's a really solid story with great construction and composition. It's a very simple story, but told really well, with solid acting in it as well. It also stars Dabney Coleman, who's a solid American actor. One of my favourite films, he plays the director Ron Carlyle in the film Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. I liked him in that. He plays the father of the family that move in. Solid acting all round, and I just really enjoyed it. I hadn't even heard of this movie until just recently, actually, the back end of 2015 there, and I'm glad I checked it out. It was out of print for a long time. It was on VHS in the 80s, and then it was out of print for a long time, and I think it was re-released in 2009 on DVD. But if you ever get the chance to check it out, in terms of, it's a proper good old-fashioned horror film. Like, it's the type of horror film that I've actually had like nightmares about. You get yourself into a situation by accident, and all of a sudden you've become a fugitive, or the whole world's against you, and it's amazing how things can happen like that, and that's a true horror story in itself. And there's no fantasy about it, there's no supernatural, there's no CGI, there's no effects. It's just a well-told, put-together story with really good acting and some good music in it as well, and a few good frights. It's definitely worth checking out if you like a good horror drama and sort of ghost story, haunted house story. It was directed by Buzz Kulik and produced by Lee Rich and Philip Capiche. And the music, as I said, the music was pretty good. It was by someone called Fred Carlin. And anyway, as I said, Bad Ronald, 1974. Check it out if you get the chance. It's a made-for-TV film, but really worth the watch if you're into solid horror films. Cheers.